So the batteries are here apparently. Bill just got the call.
Just want to make sure nothing's like 24 volts or anything in here. So I can double up the power somehow.
So they're all 13%.
Yep. So now, so let's go to battery switch 2. What the fuck was that?
Hopefully this rain lifts before we get to the lock. That would be nice. It's the morning of day 2 on our Panama Canal transit. We've just picked up our advisor and left the mooring buoy we tied to overnight in Lake Gatun. Yesterday, we transited the first of the 6 locks we'll pass through in order to enter the Pacific Ocean. A memorable experience, to say the least. We ascended 85 feet, lifting us out of the Atlantic Ocean. Today, we'll complete the remaining 3 locks, descending 65 to 75 feet. But first, we have to get to the locks. A rainy 5-hour motor trip out of Lake Gatun.
So we're eagerly awaiting this giant Panamax carrier to come through, over 1,200 feet, so we're giving them a wide berth and everyone has stopped at the narrows, including all the ships behind us. Looks like we have 4 sailboats here now, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. Originally it was 3, and then went down to 2 because someone lost their engine, but they got it back online, so.
The one right here? Yeah, the center line, center. The small one, the other side.
Okay. So the broken down boat got on their own.
So we're approaching the last locks now, and we're going to attempt to do a live stream during this. It was pretty hectic yesterday, so we'll probably ask one of our crew, Elena, maybe to hold the phone for us, because yeah, there's just a lot going on.
How fast? 6.5.
Anyway, so this giant tanker that's kind of now falling behind us is going to go through with us, but we have to pull into the lock first. So it's going to be us and 2 other sailboats, and we'll be on the end again, just like the first set of locks. Once the vehicle carrier is pulled in by the mules, we're finally ready to transit the first lock.
Hi! I just realized there's people in that window.
As the rain dries up and the bright Panamanian sun burns off the haze we woke up to, the hours fly by as the locks fill and lift us faster than we'd imagined possible, especially for chambers that contain so many millions of gallons of water. 26 in each, to be exact.
Pacific Ocean.
Yeah. The room.
Alright guys, this is it. We're in the final lock before the Pacific. Pretty wild. It's our advisor.
Hi.
We're going, this is it. This is where the salt water meets the fresh water, so this is supposed to be the worst of the current, hopefully.
Yeah, you're so hooked. So crazy.
Really cool.
So cool.
Some ways it was more.
Yeah, I mean, it was way cooler even than I thought it was.
Bye guys!
What a best crew. Yeah, that was really good.
King Panama Canal.
And the best advisor.
Yeah, so
Thank you guys. Love you.
Welcome beers, Ray. Oh, beers.
Panama. Welcome to the Pacific. Yay.
After our sweet friends greeted us, we cleaned up and headed out for drinks and dinner together. As it sometimes happens in big groups, and when we're totally immersed in the moment, we didn't get the festivities on film. And as it also often happens in our busy cruising life, though we did celebrate, we were up early the next day to hit our to-do list hard. But first, we say goodbye to our dear crew.
Had a great time.
Thank you so much for coming.
With goodbyes said and friends gone, it's time to tackle the to-do list, which, besides installing new batteries, includes replacing the membrane on our watermaker. We ordered both the batteries and the membrane while in San Blas, and had them shipped to Panama City, where we knew we'd be passing through after transiting the canal.
So we've made it safely through the Panama Canal, and now we are preparing Calico Skies for the next leg of our journey, which is 2,400 miles north of the Sea of Cortez.
Not that we're going to the Sea of Cortez, Mexico, in one shot. We'll make another stop in Panama, and then hop our way up the Costa Rican coast. Before jumping off for a longer passage to the southern part of Mexico, and then tackling the remaining miles to the Sea of Cortez.
As you guys remember probably from the videos in San Blas, we had watermaker issues, so our new watermaker membranes have arrived. So today I'm going through the process of trying to change them. As always, it involves a little bit of boat yoga. The membrane vessels, which is where the membranes are inserted, are installed in the sail locker back here. The watermaker membrane sits on like a chassis that's bolted to the cockpit coaming, which we're going to show you in a little bit. I went ahead and released that down, but now I'm trying to break all the connections between the high pressure pump, the water product line, and I guess the reject line coming out of the membrane. So I'm just breaking the connections as necessary, and I'm going to try to lift them out of the sail locker and then work on changing the membranes. This is not going to be easy, is it?
Well, no, because it's a boat project. Nothing new there. And just to take a giant step back for a second, big picture, what's happening is that our watermaker, which desalinates the seawater around us to make it drinkable, requires a membrane replacement. The membrane, which physically removes the salt molecules, is old and no longer functioning properly.
Maybe I'll disconnect this right here. Pull the hoses out of the way.
I have filmed it because I was helping, but I held this end and we shimmied it out. And so it is officially out. As is often the case with boat projects, working in a tight space is the hardest part. That means getting the membrane housing out and then later back in again will be the trickiest aspects of this project.
The whole thing's fine. Okay. Once that's done, it's fairly easy to then cut back on and screw it together.
A couple of hours and one rainstorm later, Bill's removed the old membrane and replaced it with a fresh one. So now it's time to wrestle it back into its home again. After many minutes and lots of sweat later, it's installed and ready to run again. We don't want to run it in the marina though, because the water here could have gas and other contaminants in it. So we'll wait until we're on anchor to give the new membranes a go. And this project is officially complete. Some real life moments. We have two things we want to come on here and say this evening. One is that we got new curtains and cushions. This happened really quickly. We met a guy,
David.
Actually, we met these really fun Norwegians that recommended him to us. They were telling us that they had their cushions redone, their settee cushions, their cockpit cushions. The guy was awesome, so they gave us his contact. We've contacted him, and he got everything done in 5 days at a fantastic price. So we just decided to go for it because the deal was so good, and he was so great and so fast. Oh, and I can't believe I forgot this. Okay, this isn't as clean as the rest of the boat right now, but we got a custom mattress and a topper, a 2-inch memory foam topper, and all the settees, except we didn't get the backs done because he basically didn't have time. And then you guys might have noticed that this was like completely ripped, and also that our foam was like half the width of that because it's 30 years old. So
35 almost.
35 years old. So we want to tell you that. Let us know what you guys think. And then the other thing is that we're still waiting for the batteries. So we were supposed to get them today. It's now 6:30 and nothing on that yet. Well, the boat has come in that have the batteries on them, and now we're just waiting.
Tomorrow sometime.
Yeah. Our friends on Buddy Boat Delos already left 2 days ago. And our other friends on Sailing Vessel One Life and Elixir are already in Costa Rica. So we're super eager to get going. But in this life, weather always comes first, followed by the boat next. So what we want is not always what we get. Hi! Yeah, so hopefully it'll be clear out tomorrow. It still does kind of feel like...
We're leaving.
Yeah.
The batteries will come on board, we'll install them, and then we'll be sailing towards Costa Rica before we know it.
So excited.
First sail in the Pacific. Panama is a place will be sad to leave, actually, in a certain way. Like, we don't know when we'll be back in Panama, if ever. I mean, I could see us coming back through at some point, but different boat, different time. Like, who knows when in life we'd be heading through the canal again. So I will miss Panama. It's been a cool place. It's been a cool stop, I'd say.
Yeah, so now we just got to get these batteries in so we can push off.
And that's it.
Ooh. So the batteries are here apparently. Bill just got the call. And yeah, it's super exciting because we were really hoping they would come today, and they did. I'm walking down to meet him. He's at the guy's car that has the batteries, so we're gonna schlep him back to Calico Skies.
Well, the big day is here. Our 6 beautiful lithium BattleBorn batteries have arrived, plus a couple of other items, a DC to DC charger and a soft start for the air conditioner. We're opting to make some changes to our electrical system to comply with recommended installation requirements. Best practice dictates that we should have a starting battery for the engine rather than cranking off the lithium bank. Lithium batteries have many fantastic features, but the BMS just isn't built to deal with the large surge of power required to start an engine. Same goes for the air conditioner, which is why we also received the soft start to control the surge of power required to start the compressor. Once you convert to lithium, there is no going back.
We have just turned off the AC.
It's about to get hot in here. I better do this quickly.
It's like maybe, I don't know, like 90 degrees outside. I don't know.
We're shutting off all the power.
By the way, Hannah's here.
Hey.
It's a hell of a day to come.
Yeah, she's staying with us on the day that our
The boat
batteries
was clean,
came
I
in.
swear, but now it's...
Yeah, the boat was clean, but
Yes.
these beauties are taking up
a lot of real
real
estate.
estate.
Yeah, so the challenge here is we were starting our engine off the BattleBorns, off the lithium batteries, which when I read the fine print in the warranty, or maybe not even not so fine print in the warranty, it says you could use the batteries for occasional engine starting, but it really isn't supposed to be the primary means. And I think that's because the BMS, the chip circuit inside the battery that controls all the charging, doesn't like that surge on it. We are adding a start battery to our system now, which is this black one here. Found that in Panama. So the challenge now is we have to somehow charge everything. So we were sent this, which is a DC to DC charger. So I think what my goal is here, what I'm gonna try to do is find, I looked in a boat's manual, there's one wire for the starter and the alternator combined, the charging of the alternator and the starter. So I'm gonna try to find that positive. I'm gonna put that to the starter battery, and then this DC to DC will take the alternator power out of the start battery into the lithium house bank. So now we can start ripping out the batteries, I guess. I'm 30.
Yeah, if anyone out there has familiarity with boat batteries that are not lithium, they're quite a bit heavier.
These are only 30 pounds, so this whole bank weighs 180 pounds, I think. The batteries we ripped out were 180 pounds apiece, so we had like double. We cut our weight in half, basically.
Yeah, it's just one really nice thing about lithium. Do you want me to hold that cable? Yeah. Nice.
Sorry. It's raining.
What are you thinking?
So the way the lithiums need to be set up is all the positive loads have to start on one end of the bank, and then all the negatives have to go out the other end. So if we're daisy chaining 5 batteries together, the positive has to start, and then it has to go out the 5th battery. So battery 1's here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th battery has to have all the negatives, and the 1st battery has to have all the positives. And that's just so that the power is distributed equally, so you don't hit one battery harder than the others. Yeah, so feel the difference in a real battery.
Oh, I don't need to. I believe you. How much
Feel the difference?
Yeah, I do. Oh my god! Okay, yeah, there's a difference.
How much do those weigh?
This probably weighs, I don't know, like at least double, 60, 70 pounds maybe. We are super excited to have 500 amp hours of capacity. This greatly reduces our need to run a generator, as we can make water and run the air conditioner off our lithium bank. Also, since lithium charges 30% faster than lead acid, we're able to fully take advantage of our over 1,100 watts of solar. With all the batteries in place, it's time to get the wiring completed. As mentioned earlier, we have added a starter battery, and this will change the wiring a bit. I am wiring the starter battery to switch 2 and keeping the house bank on switch 1. This will allow us to isolate the starter battery for turning over the engine. Notice anything off about this image? Look carefully. There's an old saying that the most dangerous thing on a boat is a schedule. We are rushing to complete this project so we can keep heading north to escape hurricane season. In my rush, I haven't noticed that the color caps for Polarity doesn't match the tiny markings on the battery. Just want to make sure nothing's like 24 volts or anything in here. So I can double up the power somehow. 1336.
So they're all 13%.
Yep. So now, so let's go to battery switch 2. What the fuck was that?
Something just sparked. It was like near the ground that it sparked.
What am I looking?
It's a big spark.
Well, what caused the short there? So that was a pretty chaotic battery install. I felt pretty dumb for making that mistake, but the little red and black caps on the house battery were flipped on me, and the actual markings on the battery were very hidden, very tiny and black, and you couldn't really see them well. So I had tested the polarity and voltage 3 days earlier on the start battery when I first bought it, and then when I was installing it, I kind of had checked off my mind that I checked the polarity on it, and I was just following the red caps that were on the battery. So when I went to go to battery switch 2, which will now be the starting circuit, the polarity was reversed, and it caused that giant spark that you guys saw. I would say the thing that really saved us is I installed all these terminal fuse blocks on our battery. So when the reverse polarity short came from battery 2 to the battery switch, which is underneath me, and then to the battery, this fuse popped. So it prevented the short to go into the other batteries, into our inverter charger, into a lot of things. So this little $5 piece of circuit protection, maybe even more, I don't even know what it costs, but this little bit of circuit protection saved us a lot of hassle.
Yeah, I think another thing, just so you guys, we want to be really transparent, and we're filming this a day after this happened, and we've been having a lot of conversations because Bill feels pretty bad about this mistake. The BattleBorn Lithium batteries are so clearly marked.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, so I was really just following colors. Like this, the BattleBorn here is an old one, but yeah, the red and black are...
Red and black, and so the starter battery, because the cap was
removable.
Yeah, and just has this tiny metal etching that says negative, positive, and we started the project late in the day. You're just trying to get it done.
It's hard. Like they always say the most dangerous thing on a boat is the schedule, and it's one of those instances where we're sort of behind the 8 ball again. Like, you know, it's now April, and we have to be in Mexico by May.
What I'm trying to say from behind the camera is that Bill feels really bad about it.
It's just dumb. You don't need to do that.
We chose to film this because
it seemed like amateur hour.
Yeah, we want to keep things real, and honestly, we just really hope that this will stick in someone's mind if they're watching this, either to think about putting these fuses on, but also just to do one last check. I guess that would be our message.
Before you flip the switch, yeah.